Weight training. I love going to the gym, but I've learned to keep my mouth shut over the years. Many weightlifters are their own worst enemies. Every time I look at weightlifters, I can't help but notice their muscular dysfunctions and imbalances, which will lead ultimately to pain. Many of the weightlifters have rounded shoulders, for example, or everted feet. And they're running with these feet on the treadmill. Some also suffer from elevated shoulders. Weightlifters work hundreds of hours to strengthen their musculoskeletal dysfunctions. Most dedicated athletes tend to work the hardest on muscles and structures that are 1. The strongest to begin with, and 2. The most accessible. This means that the surface and peripheral muscles get the bulk of the attention and the deep muscles are neglected. Now try telling this to a weightlifter. Unfortunately, dysfunction sets in from the inside and works outward. The deep muscles, large and small, go first. Function is transferred to the next layer up until finally most of the work is being done on the surface. These muscles are the survivors. They hang on because they are able to improvise the means to operate unstable joints. Weight training strengthens that capacity. The result is an unstable joint being driven by a stronger and stronger compensating muscle. Something has to give, and it will ultimately lead to pain. And many of the weightlifters I meet in the sauna after gym training will talk about the pain they are experiencing, either in the shoulders or the lower backs or even their knees. Static extension position. Start down on the floor on your hands and knees with your major joints aligned. The shoulders should be directly above the elbows and wrists. The hips should be directly above the knees. Hands should be placed shoulder width apart, palms flat with fingers pointed straight ahead. Arms must remain straight, elbows locked. Walk your hands about 6 inches forward and then move your upper body forward so that your shoulders are again above your hands. But now your hips are forward of your knees about 6 inches. Relax your lower back, allowing it to arch with the movement coming from the tilt of your pelvis. Collapse your shoulder blades together and drop your head down. Your shoulders should be directly above your hands. If your lower back begins to hurt, back your hips up toward your knees. This will make the exercise a lot easier. This exercise promotes lumbar and thoracic extension through bilateral hip demand and is a very good exercise for shoulder position. Cats and dogs. Start on your hands and knees. Be sure that your hips are directly above your knees and that your shoulders are directly above your hands. Fingers should be pointed forward. For the cat position, pull your hips under, pull your head under and push your upper back to the ceiling to round your back up high. For the dog position, roll your hips forward to put an arch in your back, collapse your shoulder blades together and look up. Slowly move back and forth between the cat and the dog position. I'd recommend you do it about 10 times. Remember to drop your shoulder blades together in the dog position. Exhale on cat and inhale on dog, and ensure that your wrists are below your shoulders. This is the best exercise for bilateral flexion and extension of the spine. Downward dog. Start on your hands and knees. The hands should be directly below your shoulders. The knees should be in line with your hips. Pull your toes under to grip and proceed to lift your knees off the floor into the piked position. Your knees should now be straight. Your goal is to pull your upper body through your arms and toward the floor. Your heels do not have to be on the floor, although this is the goal. Concentrate on trying to roll your hips forward to place an arch in your lower back. Tighten your thighs. This exercise engages the extensor muscles of the body from head to toe, and it is good for people with posterior pelvic tilt and sway back. Air bench. Stand with your back against the wall with feet and knees hip width apart and feet pointed straight. Walk your feet away from the wall while sliding your body slowly down at the same time. You will be seated in an invisible chair with your knees bent to 105 degrees. Your hips are just slightly higher than your knees, your ankles are slightly ahead of your knees. Your lower back should be completely flat against the wall. Relax your hands on your thighs. Keep the weight in your heels. Do not press forward on your toes. And very important, do not do this exercise in socks. Do this exercise in athletic shoes or on a yoga mat. A key component in walking is quad strength. In this exercise, we are increasing the strength of this muscle group.